What's up YouTube, this is Joe from Zephyr Games and I'm bringing to you guys the complete, final, official TCG version of Ignisters because we got the new support that finally arrived in the post today as of recording this video, and I'm super stoked to finally bring you the official TCG version. I've been bringing you versions of this using official OCG copies, but there's nothing more sweet and nothing more fulfilling than actually bring you one that you can literally take right now, go to a locals that is currently running in your area and play and have fun with it. I've tried to make this as competitively viable as possible. In fact, I even just remembered 2 cards that should be in this deck, but I'm going to quickly grab them now as I'm speaking to you. But yes, like, you can literally take this deck and take it to your locals and do well with it. Like, as far as I feel, as far as I've known, playing this deck, playing Ignisters for all this time, this deck is perfectly viable. This is completely competitively usable at tournaments and you can actually do really well with it. This deck has so many 1-card combos, it is insane. It spores going first of a big 4K plus Link 6 that is practically near unkillable, with a synchro that redirects attacks and effects, and even an effect negation from the graveyard, which is so good. Back that up with other cards that you can start disrupting your opponent with, as well as then even going second, just OTKing your opponent, board wiping them, and even when you go first, have a potential board wipe in hand without affecting your board whatsoever. So if you're excited for all of that, stay tuned to that, because this profile goes in, you will be excited to see how it all goes off. I'll be showing you guys the 1-card combo at the end to go first, because you guys have probably already seen the 1-card OTK going second. If you know, the old OTK is essentially the exact same OTK, except you're just now doing it with 1 card. So before I get into this, if you enjoy this, give us a like and subscribe down below, ding that notification bell, because obviously if you enjoy Penson's content here on YouTube, you don't want to miss out on that content, and that notification bell helps prevent that. And all of that is greatly appreciated, and we thank you guys so much for doing so. So with all that said and done, let's get into this Ignister deck. And as you can see, I'm doing this on my brand new Zephyr Games Egyptian God playmat. I love this playmat so much. It is my favorite mat. Like, it literally is. There you go. Perfect. So let's get into this. But like, starting off with the one of your 1-card playmakers, Picardy at Ignister, normal summon or special summon, search an Ignister spell or trap. Then we're playing 3 Achichi, normal special summon, search an Ignister monster. Then we're playing 2 Voodoo. This, with any form of revival, is a 1-card playmaker as well. So this is why we're playing a lot of revival cards in this deck, which you will see later on, just because it then makes Voodoo that much better of a go first playmaker. Then we're playing double Doyon. You can bounce around between 1 or 2 copies of this, to be honest. I'm playing 2 copies at the moment because you kind of need as many Ignister names as possible, because if your plays does get like hand trapped and that kind of thing, you can play through them, so long as you have Ignister names already viable in your hand, and you can start playing through the opponent's disruptions, and start taking different ways to go around doing your combos to clear your opponent's board and establish your own. Because of that, I'm playing the 1 Hyali at Ignister. It's just a free Ignister extender, along with the Gichuli not only being an extender, but then when it's used for when it's sent to grave, you can then grant protection to one of your Link monsters on board. And then the only 1 brick in this deck is Dunmari at Ignister. You don't have to play it, but if you want to go first and establish a negation going first, you kind of have to play because you send it off Buru. And if it is in your hands, if you have something like Signet Mining, you can at least then discard it and it's already established in your graveyard. And then you can search off the mining, your Chi-Chi, and then you essentially just go full combo from there. For 2 more extenders to bind up the Cyberse monsters, I'm playing the 2 Power XDs. This was such a good extender in the deck, allowing you to get access either to more Link fodder or a Light Dragon at Ignister for board clearance as well as protection. And then for hand traps, I'm playing the 3 traditional Ash Blossom. You can't go wrong with a simple Ash. And then you're probably finding it weird, but I'm maining Nibiru. Nibiru is such good to main deck in this deck because, like, if you're going first, you establish a rival Ignister with a like Quantum. If you start like watching them play out the combo and that kind of thing, you think you're okay, cool. Like they've passed the 5 limit summon, and I can feel like they're going to go into a threat that can threaten my board somewhat. Drop the Nibiru. Your rival is unaffected by all other effects. So it can't be tributed by Nibiru. So not only do you keep your 4K towers like a rival who's going to pop a card in the following turn, you get to clear off the entire opponent's entire board and disrupt the entire play. And either they have to try and find a way to continue or they just pass. And then you have a 3K Nibiru on your board, a 4K plus a rival on your board, and it doesn't matter how big that token is, a rival's just going to pop it. So then you just go for game there. It's such a good card to main deck in this deck, personally. You don't have to play 3 copies. You can drop it to 2 if you really want to, and then put something else in the deck. But I really like maining Nibiru in Ignisters. That's it for monsters. Moving on to spells. Triple Signet Mining searches your 1-card combos and is a 1-card combo pretty much on its own if you disregard the discard. I Make You is a 1-card playmaker as well, because you just search a Chi-Chi, Chi-Chi searches Picari, Picari searches your rival card, and then you just go from there. Like, it's literally like as simple as that. Such good card. Like, I love it. It's so good. It's exactly what Ignisters need. Along with the Link one. 2 Ignister Islands, you can play it at 1 if you really want to. I just like the 2nd copy because if they do banish, as I said in my previous combos, you have to respect that Cosmic Cyclone is a card, and people do like to play that over Twin Twisters. So if your 1 copy gets banished, you don't have backup, it's going to be a pain for you and really difficult for you to keep going. That's why you have the 2nd one, to respect the Cosmic Cyclone. Respect the Cyclone. Triple Idol Reborn for the last of the ice spells. You can play this at like 2 copies, but I really like to have the 3 copies because I like the fact that I can open this and turn Buru into a 2-card combo, which is just so good. Then we play the double Triple Tactics Talents. This is to help combat through the Ash Blossoms and things like that. If you do get ashed, it can hurt a little bit depending on the rest of your hand's looks. But then if you have like Triple Tactics Talents, you can then hopefully draw into your other extenders and your other Ignisters, and then you can start going off from there. Then we have the 2 Cosmic Cyclones, the card that I respect. So I like to play this over things like Twin Twisters. I don't want to keep discarding too much out of my hand. I like to have my hand usable for other things as well. Then we have the 1 Call by the Grave as another way of like the 3rd Triple Tactics Talents, but that you can actually activate that turn. And then I play 3 trap cards in the forms of 3 Solemn Strikes. This can be Judgments, Warnings, whichever you want. It can be Ice Dragon's Prison. So you just want something to help you go first, to help disrupt your opponent. If you have like an Arrival, a Quantum, a Damarian Grave, hand traps, as well as a Strike, like you're good to go going first. Like your opponent's going to struggle getting through all of that. And even if they do get to play, they're going to just struggle getting over the Arrival in general. So that's why we play the tactics, the strikes. That's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck, we have the 1 Light Dragon at Ignister, the 1 Wind Pegasus at Ignister, and the 1 Cyberse Quantum Dragon. You don't have to play Quantum. I like maining the Quantum because it's really strong going second, because it can help clear opponent's boards, but it's also really good as defensive going first. Combo this with the rival, your opponent's going to struggle getting past your board. Light Dragons to clear off among monster zones as well as protection, and Wind Pegasus disruption from the graveyard as well as backward removal. For your big boss monsters, the 1 Arrival Cybers at Ignister and the 1 Mech Knight Crusader Avamax, you can play Access Code Talker if you want. I just find out I just don't need it. This deck clears boards perfectly easy enough as it is. Between your Light Dragons, your Arrivals, your Quantum Dragons, even your Mech Knight Avamax as well. Like you're not going to struggle clearing off an opponent's board. If you do own it, cool, toss it in there. I'll tell you what to take out later on. But I personally like to just play these two as my boss monsters. These two can also be ended on going first. You can either end on the big towers of the Mech Knight or and Quantum, or you can end on Mech Knight and Quantum, which then is another form of lock. The 1/5 Phoenix, we have to play it because we don't have Heat Soul yet. At the moment Heat Soul comes out, 5 Phoenix is coming out. The 1 Dark Templar at Ignister and the 1 Transcode Talker. The 1 Update Jammer to help you push for OTKs. The double Splash Mage, this is what I would take out for the access code if I wanted to play it. I'd take out a single Splash Mage for that. The 1 Cyber's Wicked. The reason I play 2 Splash Mage, by the way, is just because 1 is for combo, 1's for the follow-up. The 1 Lingeribo, because if you have anything else lying on board, you can turn it to Lingeribo for a trap negation as well. And then we have the 2 best things in the extra deck, which is the Dark Infant Ignister. Link Summon, search your island, and then the next one in your combo, you move it across to allow Templar to provide 3 monsters instead of 2. That's it for the main deck. And extra deck, I'm going to quickly zoom out, show you not only these lovely Egyptian gods, but also the 1 of 2 card combos that you can, 1 card combos, which is just like absurd. So we have the, just getting everything else together, there we go, that should be everything. So you want to open up either Picari or Chi-Chi or I Mate You or Mining, like so many ways to just start off these combos. So one of these 2 will do. I'm going to go with Picari. So we're going to normal summon Picari. Picari is going to search you a I spell or trap. Literally, so Picari is the only card in my hand. I search I Meet You. I play I Meet You and reveal 5 Phoenix to search a Chi-Chi. I'm going to turn Picari into a Dark Infant who's going to grab me an island. I'm then going to play the island and I'm going to special summon the Chi-Chi. A Chi-Chi is then going to activate and search me a Doyon. I'm then going to turn these 2 into a Cyber's Wicked. I'm then going to use Island's effect and special summon the Doyon to Wicked Zone. Doyon's going to activate and get you back the Picari that you started off with. You bring back the one that you started off with. So if you start off with Picari, you get him. If you start off with a Chi-Chi, you get a Chi-Chi. And then Wicked is going to banish a monster from graveyard. So I'm going to banish the Dark Templar. And I'm going to search a Cyber's Tuner. So I'm going to search Voodoo. I'm then going to turn these 2 into a Splash Mage. This activate Doran's effect to grab you back an Eye spell or trap from graveyard. So we grab the I Meet You. We're then going to use the islands again to special summon the Voodoo, which then triggers Voodoo to send a Ignister from deck to graveyard. So we're going to send Damali. If you're playing the Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid version of the deck, you would send your Ritual Monster Water Leviathan at this point. So you send your Damali, and then you're going to use the Splash Mage to get back a Ignister from graveyard. 3 monsters of different attributes. We're going to then make the Dark Templar at Ignister. We're then going to use the island to special summon the Picari from the hand. We're then going to use the Picari and link summon into our second Dark Infant. We now have a chain links of 1 and 2. So Dark Templar chain link 1, Dark Infant chain link 2. So Dark Infant, you can move it to a zone that it points to and then change its attributes. So we're going to move it across 1 zone and we're going to change it to a divine, because you do not have any divines in your deck. You cannot go wrong with the divine attribute. So we're going to move Dark Infant over and make it a divine, and then we're going to use the Templar to get back 3 Ignisters from our graveyard. So we're going to get back the Picari, a Chi-Chi, and Voodoo. So we're going to then use the Picari and Budu and synchro into Cyberse Quantum Dragon. We're going to put him over here. We're going to use the Budu's effect to revive Picari from our graveyard. And then you can end on one of two boards. So you can either use all of these and make a 4K Arrival Cyberse. So you will have a Cyberse Quantum and an Arrival Cyberse at 4,000 attack, practically indestructible. And then you have a Cyberse Quantum that while you control a Link monster, your opponent can't target or attack any monsters on your board except him. And if he does battle, he bounces that monster back to the hand. And then you have I Meet You in hand, so that you can go Meet You, search a Chi-Chi or search Picari, and then go off from there. I would probably search Picari because then you normal Picari and you search the Idle Weaver one. If you don't want to end on the Arrival, you can rewind back, have all of this on board. You can turn these two into a Mech Knight Crusadia Alpha Max. And then you can turn your Picari. You can either use the Picari's effect to make this a level 4 and overlay it into a Light Dragon, or you can just use the Picari and make a Lingerevo. So you end on board with a Mech Knight Alpha Max, a Quantum Dragon, which while these two are both in play, your opponent cannot attack you whatsoever because they both redirect attacks to themselves. You have a Lingerevo who can negate an opponent's trap card. And then you also have the I Meet You in hand as well. So that's it for the 2 1-card combos. I hope you all enjoyed it for going first. Once you've learnt this combo, you can essentially know what you want to do going second. Again, especially if you know the old traditional ignister combos, it's practically the same thing. You're just doing it all with just 1 card. So as always, guys, if you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time, as always, happy dueling.